Okay, folks, cue the Deadpool jokes. He's only gone and bought Alpine. Although, quite frankly, I didn't understand why he didn't buy Mercedes, because Deadpool's meant to be the merc with the mouth. But let's get one thing clear, folks. The idea of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney striding their way to Enston and claiming ownership of the team isn't quite going to be translated in the same way that they did with Wrexham, because they are a very small part of a group of investors who've claimed a £171 million stake of the Alpine team. The Renault groups managed to secure funding from... these investor groups, their names are so boring. Otro Capital, Redbird Capital Partners, and Maximum Effort Investments. Together, they have a 24% stake of the Alpine F1 team. So it's not a controlling stake, Renault still own the major part of the team. But since they're Hollywood A-listers, and the whole media sensation of Welcome to Wrexham, that documentary, which to be fair, I have watched, I'm not a football fan, it was actually a really interesting watch. People are just going to associate that, hey, Deadpool's bought Alpine! Oh, when are we going to see Gasly wearing really tight red and black spandex? They're not taking a controlling stake. This is a similar size to what Audi has in the Sauber group. But okay, who are... Sorry, I've forgotten their names again. Redbird Capital Partners. Well, according to what I researched, they are investors in many sort of entities, including the likes of AC Milan. They also have a finger in Fenway Sports Group. They have something to do with the Boston Red Sox in baseball and Liverpool Football Club. So you can sort of now tie Liverpool to Deadpool and now Alpool. No, that doesn't quite work, does it? But they also have a link to Skydance Media, who are responsible for the Terminator movies, the Mission Impossible movies, and some of the recent Star Trek movies. So, when are we going to see a cameo of Gasly in there? Sorry, I know, I'm going on about the Gasly factor, but he and Ocon are so popular on the Instagram circuit. Everyone knows what they are about and they love them. Otro Capital, it's a little bit more vague. They've got something to do with sports and media in general. It's very hard to try and actually find the companies that they specifically are involved in, but they've obviously collaborated with Redbird and Maximum Effort to come up with some investment package to the tune of £171 million or 200 million euros. Or in American dollary dues, what's 171 million pounds in dollars? 217 million. You can tell I'm prepared, aren't I? A 24% stake and 171 million pounds. That's about roughly 700 million pounds that the Alpine team is valued. I know my Dragon's Den. I'm with my pen and book right now and I'm thinking, where's Peter Jones when you need him? Deborah Meaden? Deborah Meaden, what do you think of this investment? So we're getting loads of Hollywood A-listers at a time when there is a bit of a pushback with loads of celebrities being involved in Formula One. Remember the whole Miami thing? And yeah, the hardcore F1 fans are not liking this in a way. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a bit of resistance to this. But as you can probably tell, in the wake of Laurent Rossi actually being very outspoken about the Alpine team, thinking that they were actually underperforming, and then suddenly, after his lambasting in media, they suddenly perform well again, the owner of Renault and Laurent Rossi, the CEO of Alpine, have been saying this is a great time for investment. They're really going to be supporting the Alpine team and making sure they can break into the Big Four. But the real truth about that is that it means good. Less of the burdens on us and we don't have to put in as much money. Someone else can do it. But also the reality is that this is going to be a very, very big publicity stunt. It's going to bring a lot of eyes towards Alpine and improve their media reputation quite immensely. But this is where I'm a bit worried. I don't think it's going to be that involved like the whole Doralton Williams situation. By now, I get the feeling that Doralton Capital over at Williams is genuinely interested in bringing Williams back up to the fore. They naturally bought Williams from the Williams family for bottom dollar and are now seeing returns on their investments quite handily. And by the time that Williams gets up to the front, they'll have made a major killing in terms of actual improving of the team and how much they're worth. But even then, you feel like Doralton is genuinely wanting Williams to succeed in all avenues, getting the best of the best, willing to improve their equipment. This is a very serious turnaround that they're involved in. This whole thing, though, I just feel it's a bit more flashy. I feel this is just going to be like a topic that these investors talk about over dinner. I just hope that it's a little bit more involved than that and there's actual genuine investment in the Enstone factory. This money actually going in to improve their facilities, expand what they already have, because it's quite clear that the Enstone factory, even though it is very, very storied in Formula One history, going back to the days of Tolman in the 80s, it's really starting to fall behind the likes of Aston Martin, McLaren's now starting to catch up, even the likes of Audi and Sauber, they're going to be moving forward. Alpine needs to secure their long-term future in terms of improving their infrastructure, because clearly Renault and Alpine haven't really been doing that, or at least not been doing it fast enough. So this outside investment is looking to speed that up even more, even though quite clearly they need to get that speed actually on the track too. And then Alex Scheiner of, Otro Capital will now be joining Alpine Racing's board of investors. So there'll actually be representation in how the Alpine team is run. So maybe that might be something good. Whether or not this is actually going to be influencing the engine side of it, Alpine Racing SAS, the people that actually make the Renault engines for Alpine, that's really not going to change whatsoever. So that's going to remain the same. I really want all of this investment to actually improve what's going on at Enstone, and them not having to rely on gimmicks and tweets from Jeremy Clarkson about them getting podiums and then getting some beer out of it, which was very cute, by the way. And if you can check out my commentary on various things on my Twitter at LawVSX, you can get my real-time opinions when the news actually breaks, and then you can come here and then subscribe. But of course, with the involvement of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney being the figureheads of this particular investment and deal, this is going to bring a lot more American eyes towards this team. Alpine have sort of been a little bit, a little bit obscure. Not a lot of fans are aware that Alpine actually make road cars. That has been improving over the last couple of years. I've known about Alpine for a long time, and they did make cars back in the day, and then they have their A110 sports car, but they're wanting to make even more cars in the future, wanting to improve their lineup instead of just having one for an eternity, the A110. That's pretty much all they've made. Maybe this can attract some American sponsors. Gasly and Ocon, a very popular lineup in terms of social media, they're wanting to be expanding their influence even more. Maybe we might get some special Alpine documentary sort of thing, like Welcome to Enstone or something like that. Sort of like a spin-off series from Welcome to Wrexham. We'll just see these Hollywood A-listers going around the factory, and hopefully it'll be as genuine and sincere like that documentary was. Again, I'm not a football fan, and it was a really good documentary. On track though, what does this actually mean? Well, in the short term, not really much is going to change. The only real significant thing right now is that the Alpine name will most likely stay, instead of Renault getting bored and deciding just to sell the team off again. I think this is actually going to be good for their long-term health. So for their performance aspect though, not really much is going to significantly change, at least for the time being. Give it a couple of years, we might actually see some improvements, as hopefully this money goes towards improving Enstone's facilities. That means they can build stuff faster, make better stuff, faster stuff, improve their R&D, all that kind of stuff. But all of that stuff takes a lot of time. It's not a guarantee that more money equals better, because McLaren has loads of Middle Eastern investment and they're floundering in 6th position. So even though you get a big injection of cash, that's not a 100% guarantee that you are going to succeed. Remember the whole Toyota thing? 2008, they put in $2/3 billion and they secure 5th place. That Tomo video, again, is a very good one, so I recommend that. But right now, this investment group is looking to take Alpine to the stars with some Hollywood stars. Comment below your thoughts.